Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm. I'm Terry Ikumi. Today I'm joined by a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, specifically a member of the Board of Trustees of the party, to discuss some issues surrounding the party and some other national issues. Chief Bode George joins me from Lagos. Chief, welcome to Political Paradigm.
My pleasure, as always.
It's nice to see you again. It's nice to see you in good health and looking good. You must be very well relaxed.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you're preparing for the INEC meeting, which is coming up in about a week from now. So first, let me begin from there and get your reaction to the rejection of that notice sent to INEC by the commission. What did you make of that?
I see a lot of unnecessary intervention with our party. And I want to plead with the INEC to exercise a bit of caution, exercise a bit of introspection, exercise a bit of civility in handling this issue. It is clear from the statement, the judgment by the Supreme Court, that the position of any elective members, the managers of the party, is purely party affair. And the acting chairman sent a letter to the INEC, and we were told they rejected it, saying there should be 2 people signing it. To have a NEC meeting, we have to inform them. Does it have to be, once a letter comes in that we are doing this, a NEC meeting, which is the next most important level of the authority of the party, I don't see their concern about it. I know for real, if we are doing our national convention, elective convention, yes, whoever is the secretary and the chairman will sign to inform. If we are sending the list of candidates for any national elective offices, yes, the chairman and the secretary must sign that letter. Now, throwing tantrums, and I regard it as tantrums, because let's look at it. The APC, which is much younger than the PDP, when was the last time they had a national convention? When was their national chairman, now acting national chairman, elected officially? And when was the national secretary elected officially? They were all appointed. What is all this hula baloo? Please, INEC, I am appealing to them. Take it very, 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 very calmly. Don't throw tantrums. Don't throw the baby and the water outside. Moderate your activities, because this is just the beginning towards 2027. We love Nigeria. Ghanaians ran their system. That it was seamless. It's only when we run our own that we'll have a glitch on the D-Day. It didn't make any sense.
Okay.
Prof, I know Prof very well, so I am asking them, moderate. Anyway, the governors who are still members of our party will be having a meeting with the chairman of INEC. Let him explain to us what the new rules are. Why are those rules just for the PDP and not for the others? What is all this? This country is bigger than everybody else.
Chief,
and you cannot start this journey with whipping up unnecessary aggrandizement. What is this?
Chief, let me come in here. Your response almost suggests that you align with the National Publicity Secretary of your party, Mr. Olugnaba, who said that what INEC is doing is almost suggestive of an assistance to the APC in dropping the country into a one-party state. But then INEC says that the guidelines, electoral guidelines for political parties regulation was violated. Yes. If INEC quotes Part 2, subsection 12 and 3, that it mandates that the national chairman and national secretary of the party shall jointly sign the notice of a convention, a congress, a conference, or meeting.
You know, what I'm saying is simply this. We went up all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has asked us that the issue of any of your managers within the party is purely a party affair. Has nothing to do with any court of law. Okay, if the Magun alone signed and they said there is a new some section, look, we are not yet ready for the National Convention. The National Convention, yes, the secretary, and like I told you, the secretary and the chairman will sign. All those who are contesting for elective offices, for their names to be sent to INEC, the secretary and the national chairman will sign. Now, the party has an acting chairman, an acting secretary, legally appointed to run. And so, Damagun should now ask the deputy national secretary, who is acting as the secretary now, to co-sign it. Simple. What we just to have a meeting? We are talking about having a meeting. We are not talking about going to convention yet.
What are your expectations from that NEC meeting? Because it clearly suggests that it will still hold on the 30th of June, as proposed by your party. But then, your expectations are really important here. The reason is, a lot of people have described the NEC of your party as all bark and no bite, considering the situation with your party. There are people who think that certain stringent measures should have been taken long ago. And those who do that point to certain provisions within your party which empowers the NEC, one of which is to make rules for party discipline which shall be binding on all organs and members of the party. They conclude that your party, the NEC, hasn't really held its own in holding the party down and addressing issues head on. So what do you expect going into that meeting?
I can assure you, because when you call a NEC meeting, you have the National Caucus first, then you have the Board of Trustees. At the same time, if like the 30th of June, if we are holding the NEC meeting, there are two other meetings that we hold before NEC. The caucus meeting, the Board of Trustees meeting, and then the NEC meeting. And at that time, you have enough of issues, people who have thrown filthy things against the party, who have publicly committed harakiri. They will be disciplined. And whatever decision is taken at that NEC is final. But you can't do anything without having a meeting of NEC. So all those people trying, we want to go and do coalition, they want to do this, they are doing that, they are disrupting things. And then the fellow who is telling you, I will vote for this one against our party, I am not leaving the party, they will deal with them according to the rules and the laws of our party.
So this is an assurance. This is an assurance that this NEC meeting will address the issues surrounding indiscipline of certain members once and for all.
Absolutely, because those members of our party who are not members of NEC, they are looking forward. This party hasn't gone under. But if you don't sit properly because our own is not a private enterprise of anybody. You know, unlike the other party, the APC, you know, you had when the president said, I own it. Nobody can tell you in my party that he owns the party. But allow the organs, allow the system to run. We will stabilize our party.
Right.
What I want to assure the electorate, the Nigerian electorate, of is this. There is no organization in the world that doesn't have one crisis or the other. But the ability of the managers to ensure that they are able to come together to resolve their crisis will be a measure of their competence. And that is why we have been saying, where we've been talking, we have to be careful, you know, it's like you have a family problem. You don't go to the marketplace and start to undress yourself and do a lot of lawless things. Let us meet at the party. Let us meet at the highest level, which is the National Executive Committee.
Great. Okay.
Decisions will be taken. I can assure you that as long as God gives me that health, if nobody raises this issue of crossing the red line, I will raise it. As a general, I am not afraid of any human being. I have been in this party and I have no intention to leave this party until the Almighty calls me home. Great. Let us do what is just. Let us do what is right. Let us do what is civilized, so that the Nigerian electorate will know the difference between the Roko party and these flip-floppers.
Oh, great. Okay, Chief, this action of discipline that you call for, some wonder how wide it was spread. And there are those who now say that the conversation of a new party, the All Democratic Alliance Party that's been formed, and your 2023 presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is linked to it, that should also cover that. I don't know what your thoughts are on this new party linked with a member of your party, as far as we know up to this point, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
You know, I just read it like you did. I saw some names being mentioned. I saw that the intention of trying to start another political party. And, you know, it pains me. It's very heartbroken. These are people who had been part of the party right from the beginning. And all you can do is to disown your family house because you have some crisis. No. If you have a crisis in the family, you sit down. If you are civilized, you sit down and resolve it. It's like you have built your house. Suddenly, you know, the house started leaking and some systems are not working. Would you be so angry that you go and rent another house and become a tenant? Where you are the chief landlord. Then you go and become a tenant. Does that make any sense? If something is not working, and these people were part and parcel of those who started the crisis of that last convention, we warned them. Your approaches, I spoke with the then chairman, you can't do this. For 6 hours, I was in his house. I said, okay, you have won the primaries. Atiku has won the primaries. What are you going to do? What are we going to take home as defined and designed by the founding fathers of our party? We completely disregarded that procedure and decided that we would do anything we wanted. That is the result. And we have said never again. We've learned a lesson. This is a party that was conceptualized, the central figure that brought everybody together, Papa Alex Ekweme. He was the convening authority, invited so many of his political opposition. And they were able to conceptualize a workable system for Nigeria. After that, he himself contested twice for presidential election. He didn't win. He never brought down the roof. So we should use that as an example. What is it in life you are looking for? You must be president. You must be this. You must
Chief,
be...
would you blame Chief, would you blame Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? Because even you, as a BOT member, has been quoted to have said that if the PDP gives Atiku the ticket in 2027, that it will affect the party. You have also said that he's perhaps too old to seek office as president. So would you blame him for wanting to walk away from the party?
One side is his age. He could still, we are different. People could still be strong. He will be 81 at that time. If he's still strong enough, fine. But our party, we have a procedure. 8 years of elective offices in the various zones. You must change, like General Buhari spent 8 years as the president of Nigeria. Where was General Buhari from, or where is he from? Is he from Castina, or from Lagos, or from Calabar? He is from Castina. So a northerner had run, that's the northern zone, 8 years. It is illogical and against the principles of this party that the next 8 years will be by the northern zone. No, sir. He has to come to the south. That is the grounds we have with him.
So two things, Chief. Two things, Chief. Let me just come in here. Are you saying that in 2027, the PDP must field a southern candidate?
Absolutely.
Secondly, do you say the PDP was wrong to have thrown thrown it open in 2023 instead of zoning it to the south?
That was the beginning of the crisis. I like I said, it's an internal mistake. We made a mistake, and it was based. I remember when Ayu, who was then the chairman, resumed office, the committee that did the zoning only zoned the party positions, whereas the constitution of our party, Section 7, subsection 3C, states equivocally that there will be zoning and rotation of elective offices and party offices for the purpose of justice, fairness, and equity. In other words, there are 6 top positions in the land, 6 top positions in the land. The president, the vice president, the Senate president, speaker, secretary to government, and national chairman. They divided Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones so that we will avoid the pitfalls of the First and Second Republic, where the majority tribe would always win and minority tribes will be just mere onlookers. To avoid that, that's why they divided Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones: northwest, northeast, north central for the northern zone, southwest, southeast, south for the southern zone. And the 6 stock positions will be distributed amongst all those zones, so that every tribe, whether you are minority or majority, will have a sense of belonging, which is brilliant. It's not novel, because that's what they do in Switzerland. They brought it here. So after 8 years, all positions in the north will come to the south. All the positions in the south will go to the north. And as you are doing that, you can rotate. So a minority himself who can be president someday. Because as a human being, God didn't say because you are Yoruba man, he won't give you brains. Or if you are a minority tribe, you won't have brains. It is bringing about the unity of Nigeria because the British created this and left behind two evils, tribalism and religious bigotry. And I have looked and thought, what have these two things got to do with the price of milk? With what you call development. In this country today, go to every corner of Nigeria, you have brilliant people. The human resource is unimaginable. Whether you are minority tribe or majority tribe, brilliant people all over the place. So why are we shortchanging ourselves? So these old men who founded the parties came out with this concept. It was the thwarting of that concept that created the crisis in 2023. Because some of us said, look, Buhari, is he not from the north? Presidency must come to the south. Somehow, the zoning committee, they said they forgot to zone the elective offices. I said they forgot to zone it. They have zoned the party positions. So if they had forgotten to zone it, where do we go? So they set up a committee. How you now set up a committee? One representative per state for us to go and meet and see how best we can rearrange this lackluster behavior. We met. Governor Autumn was the chairman. The first day of that meeting, there was so much noise. There is no more zoning. Hell no, we don't need any zoning. We were looking, what the heck is going on here? Give me the Constitution. The Constitution was clear. Section 7, subsection 3C, zoning and rotation of elective offices and party offices simultaneously. So why did you take one and left the other? That we realized it. They say, 6 months had lapsed. We cannot just go back. People have been spending money. We should just, like family members, allow everybody in every zone to contest. After that, the other zoning will follow. We listen as members of the same family, but we noted the communique was drafted by Professor Jerry Garner that never again shall any committee commit that harakiri. And that's why they opened it up for everybody to contest. When Atiku won, you remember somebody dropped his flag and said he was going to tell his delegates to vote for Atiku. And whatever it is, that was all human. So I went to argue. I said, no, Mr. Chairman, you told us that peradventure presidency falls into the north, you will resign so that the chairman of the party will come to the south. Because from this arrangement, the chairmanship and the presidential candidate cannot come from the same zone. If, like I said, number one position is president. If he goes to the north, number two will go to the south. Number three will go to the north.
Right.
Number four will go to the south. Number five will go to the north. And number six will come to the south.
All right, Chief.
So 3 up, 3 down. So very simple.
Chief,
because we mismanaged that concept, that's where we had this crisis.
All right, Chief.
For God's sake, what are we looking for? Who is the human being that will not die one day?
Chief George, let me come in here, please.
If it's not your turn, it is not your turn.
All right, Chief, let me come in here.
Wait for your time.
Let me come in here.
Finally, what you will not accept, this is now biblical and spiritual. What you will not accept, don't do it to any man.
All right, right.
Imagine the situation is reversed, that it is the South that was now saying, I must be president, I must be president. Would our brothers in the North accept it?
All right, Chief, let me take it from here, because some have described Atiku as a major player in this whole political scene, and
Yes.
a highly respected member of your party as well. And there are those
Mm.
who fear that he's got followers in the PDP and supporters who would follow him to this new party, leaving the PDP sort of stranded. And then it raises the question of what then happens to the entire conversation of coalition that we've been hearing, which involves the PDP.
If as a general, if I have 4 men who are committed, who are dedicated, who are loyal, who are just, who are fair and equitable, I go to war. I will move my troops and move forward. What is it in life? Now you alone day, like the local parlance will ask. If they want to follow him up, I wish them the best of luck. What we are saying, let the decision of who will be president lies with the electorate. How many are card-carrying members of the PDP? How many are the card-carrying members of APC?
But Chief, you know that
political parties? If
politics,
they
as they
want to
say,
go with him,
Chief, you know,
yes,
as they say, politics is local, and the strength of the political party would, to an
right.
extent, decide how far they would go in an election. So, and we've been hearing about coalition, which has involved
see,
the PDP over
even
time.
this,
Is the PDP no longer considering a
even
coalition? Because it would seem that you don't care if Atiku leaves or not.
we have been around. As a politician, you move around. People talk to you. They listen. If you think they are not following all the discussions, you must be joking. Nigerians are following all the things. The only caution which I will strike now is to advise the INEC to be very, very careful. The Ghanaians ran and used the same system seamlessly. It worked. Nigeria, we are using the same system, and on the D-Day of election, we were told there was a glitch, and so we should reverse back. Let them be careful. We cannot afford to have a conflagration in this country. Justice is justice.
Chief, please let me come in here, Chief.
Injustice,
Chief,
yes.
I was more concerned, or the question was more directed towards a coalition. The PDP has been rumored in recent times to be involved in a coalition. Interestingly, this coalition was led seemingly by Atiku, who is now linked to a new political party. So where does that leave the PDP with regard to coalition? That's one. And two, when you talk about the INEC, on a broader scale, yes, the Independent National Electoral Commission has a great role to play in ensuring that elections go freely and fairly. But some would ask, is INEC responsible for the crisis within the People's Democratic Party? Why do you think that people are leaving your party?
Let me tell you this. If I got you right, those who are talking about PDP involved in any coalition, the Iroko tree in the bush is the strongest tree. We have a system, we have a culture, and we have a taproot that is so deep. No matter the storm, what has survived, what has made the PDP to survive till today? It is the concept of operation. And by the definition of justice, fairness, and equity, you'll be fair to everybody. That is why we are still standing. All right? So those who believe that the PDP, we don't shut the doors of our party. The Iroko tree, we don't shut our doors. It's like a police station. Anybody can come and join us. What are we looking for? To go and join whatever? Who? What is it? I
A
have
coalition.
traversed the length and breadth of this country. I have campaigned the length and breadth of this nation. There is no village you will not find a PDP. Well structured, well known. I had been Director General of a presidential campaign. I've handled national convention several times. I have been there. I have seen it. We are not reinventing the wheel. Those who are now going to rebuild another party, I wish them the best of luck. We will all be out there campaigning. What do they want to tell the people? All of them. You know, when you look at those who are leading the team, everybody wants to be a presidential candidate. I wish them the best of luck. Even if we are few remaining, we will convince the electorate. We have capable, responsible, respectable, intellectually good people and deep who can manage the resources of this country for the benefit of the people. We have them in our party. They're there.
Well, it does seem.
I don't want to start mentioning it, but they have proven themselves.
But that's another
and that
aspect
is what
of
the
it, Chief.
people need.
Chief, that's another aspect of it. The aspect of not naming names, either for the good or bad of it, is another aspect of it. There are those who say that you and the other elders of the party have, to an extent, failed the party because you have not been bold enough to call out people who have put the party in the crisis that it is in at the moment. And so I'm going to ask you directly. I'm going to ask you because these are insinuations in the public space, even among your party members. Do you agree with those who say that the FCT minister is responsible for the crisis within your party and is working for the APC to pave the way for President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027?
No, remember what I said earlier on. No individual owns this party. I have advised privately. I told you I had 6 hours meeting with the former chairman, Ayu. 6 hours in his house. I spoke even with Atiku. I have spoken also with Wiki to calm down. It's my political son, calm down. But once you cross the red line in the party, I do not have personal authority to deal with them because we are a party of rules. And I said to you earlier that on that day at the INEC meeting, if it is not mentioned, I will raise it. And nobody will shut me up. Those who have crossed the red line, we know them. But no individual has a right to say you are fired or you are this, you are that. It is the NEC as a group that will take a decision.
Yeah, Chief,
irrespective of your tribe, your language, your whatever, we need the party to survive.
All right, Chief.
The way the founding fathers brought it about, that's what we are going to remind them.
Chief, I know, Chief, I know
Yes.
that you've said that you want to be vocal at the NEC meeting.
Yeah.
Your members will watch this interview and they would want to hear certain things. And one of the things I drew your attention to is the allegation of failure against the leaders in the party, such as yourself, who do not call out those who are responsible for the crisis and push for them to be punished accordingly. That's why I asked you if you agree with those who say that the minister of the FCT is responsible for the crisis within your party and is only doing that to destabilize the party and pave the way for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu in 2027. Do you agree with those who have that opinion?
Listen, absolutely. You know, at my age, I'm on the 8th floor of life. I said it is an internal dynamics of the party. I can talk to them privately. I told you on all sides have crossed the red line. All sides. It's not only we're Minister of FCT, but the other side too. Instead of sitting down there, face the truth and tell ourselves some serious home truth, they are going coalition. What exactly are you looking for? You are telling the people that the PDP has collapsed, the PDP that you benefited, you became A, you became B, you were well known, you were structured. It's like your family house. Now they said the house is leaking, and we said we have the materials to seal the leakages. You want to go and be a tenant in another party. What is your ambition? Is that not self-conceitedness? What do you call that? You are like a rolling stone, not him. Some of them are going. They are like a rolling stone that gathers no moss. I am saying to you, but even Wike, who is publicly saying all the things he's saying, I have told him openly that he has crossed the red line. They have all committed the hierarchy across the line. We cannot, as a senior permanent member of the Board of Trustees, it is our responsibility to call people to order.
You've mentioned
we
the
will
FCT
remind
minister.
them about the rules and regulations of this party.
What red line?
And they must follow it.
Chief
if
George,
they cannot defend themselves, end of story.
Chief George, what red line has been crossed now by the FCT minister? What red line?
Oh, you cannot be a strong member of our party and you openly decided that you are going to vote for the opposition presidential candidate openly. And he told you, look at the shenanigans in Rivers going on now. And I reminded him, where is the violence in Rivers State that propelled you to go and declare a state of emergency? Who had been murdered? Was there violence in Okrika? Was there violence in Boni? Was there violence in all parts? It's been peaceful. Now you have gone ahead again to appoint the River State INEC, the state INEC. How? And you brought one man from either Calabar or from Akwa Ibom to be chairman. How? It has to be an elected state assembly people. You went to appoint people for the River State Civil Service Commission without an elected governor operating. These are illegalities. I don't know what the hell they are talking about. Was there violence? Even when Jonathan was there and there was so much crisis at that time, he did not remove any single governor. He didn't remove them. So many things we are lowering our heads so that they scramble on the eggs and start working on our heads. What is going on in Nigeria? These things are not right.
Chief George, Chief George, I want to ask you a question with regard to reconciliation. You're a strong advocate for reconciliation. You've had your concerns around the composition of certain reconciliation or disciplinary committees in the past. But let me ask you, it's been a month since the since the governors set up the Saraki-led reconciliation committee. What do you see so far? Progress?
Well, he will report. I've not spoken with him. If he has any, he is also will be showing up at the next meeting. And if they ask him how far is he gone with the reconciliation, but what we see from outside is that the more he says he's working, the more they are digging their feet and trenches outside the confines of the party. So that's a measure whether it is successful or it's not. I've not spoken with him. And the last minute meeting we had, nothing was said that was quite heartwarming. And I don't things that I don't know about. I will not say I know of it, but the impact of that reconciliation committee, I've not seen it. Because we shouldn't get to this stage where people will now say, we are having a coalition, and they are all moving, and they are, come on, you don't leave your father's house, the house you built, the house you modeled, the house that made you to be president, to be vice president, to be known nationwide for goddamn 8 years. Then you abandon that ship and you are heading out to be a tenant somewhere, and you want to start rebuilding another political party. What would you tell them when you get there? What would you say happened to your own father's house? I am begging all these people, do a rethink. Do a rethink, because what do you want history to be written about you, including what Wike is doing? Like I said, you came out, you said you are working for him, and he told you directly that you go and deliver River State for me, go and deliver FCT for me. Someday you will wake up again to read that history. And whether you be proud of yourself or otherwise, you will see.
So does this suggest...
I don't have the powers as a single individual to start passing judgment.
Based on your thoughts,
must take judgment.
Chief, based on your thoughts on the Reconciliation Committee led by Saraki, which you do not think is making as much progress, to what do you, on whom or what would you lay the blame in this case? Because he has made efforts, and the report we had so far is that sometime last month, I think the 27th of last month, he made attempts to reach aggrieved members, and most of the members of your party loyal for FCT Minister Nyesom Wike did not show up at that. What does that say of the reconciliation process? And it also leads me to ask you the question around the PDP's seriousness with regard to reconciliation. This is not the first reconciliation committee that has been set up. I'll take this moment to ask you about what came out of the reconciliation committee led by former Secretary
He also had a reconciliation. I knew of his own reconciliation. Wherever he is today about it, I don't know. And if things are getting to this stage, unfortunately, the NEC has not met. And this is where they would have reported, and their actions and activities and decisions would have been taken. I am saying we can see the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob in all this. And I am pleading with those who are still very highly committed to the Iroko political party of this country. We had never had a party that is destabilized, is nationally committed to ensure the utilization of the resources of the land for the benefit of the general people. I had never seen it. All other political parties were all purely tribal parties. And even the APC is a congregation of strange bedfellows. Otherwise, somebody is there, he's telling, Bola has given him time. So you can leave him, that he thinks he's still punching. He's punching the party that made him, all right? Punching and trusting human being. You know, one lesson I've learned in life, if you trust human beings, you have made a grievous mistake. The only human being, the only person you can trust is the Almighty God. He's the one who will never disappoint you.
Okay.
The man who knows the beginning, the end from the beginning. I have no human trust for anybody, and that is a fact. Trust the God Almighty, and He will never fail you. Occasionally in life, He takes you to a spiritual desert for you to to go through tribulations, to go through trials, and increase your faith. And if you are humble enough to listen to his voice, you will come out on the highway of triumph. Ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé èèyàn asán ni o. You know, in the meantime.
What does that mean, Chief?
I'm
What's
saying
that in English?
No. That's in my local parlance.
Yeah, we have
non-Yoruba speakers. If you trust any human being, you are mistaken.
All right, Chief.
It never works.
Let's bring it closer
I
to you.
want to tell all these people junketing all over the place like a rolling stone. Kadan kada. Wayo.
Okay.
Chief,
let's bring it closer to you now.
One of them will be your language, I am sure.
I understand one or two of them, so it's fine.
Let it cool off.
Let's bring it closer to you now. The PDP in Lagos State, ahead of the July 12th local government elections, you unveiled the candidates, and the state chairman was absent there. Should there be cause for concern within the party ahead of the election? It's less than 3 weeks away.
We have a meeting of the elders and some local government chairmen on Wednesday. I can't take a decision on my own. We have reported our experiences. You see, the fact that you are the leader doesn't make you have absolute right. I believe in justice, I believe in fairness, and I believe in equity. Now, we've reported scenarios, what happened, and how we were able to manage. I am happy that we have almost 90-something% of our people who will be competing in the exercise. And that is more than enough. It's LASEC. And I stumbled into them recently, the members of the Lagos State INEC. I stumbled into them, I met them, the chairman, very civilized lady who had been on the bench. And I went there, I was told that they didn't want to accept our money and all that, which would have meant that we wouldn't be able to present a candidate. And they told me frantically there that it was not their responsibility, that, it is the state government whose system their portal was shut down. But they wanted to reassure us, and it was a day before the final closure. And they were all the commissioners were decent enough. They said they will look at it and give us an extension of 48 hours. So I removed my cap and I said, look, let us pray. And I prayed for them, that God would direct their minds, God would guide them to do what is just, what is right for our state. Because whatever you do today will be on the pages of history tomorrow. Let them be remembered as people who are just, who have the fear of God in them, and who will deliver the truth. We will do our best to compete, and I hope for the best. Our chairman who didn't come, the chairman who didn't come for the meeting and all that, I don't know why.
Have you reached out to him, Chief, or has he reached out to you?
No, he hasn't reached out to anybody. It is not only me. All the elders who meet, all the leaders of our party in various local governments will be here, and all the local government chairmen will also be here. We will do an assessment, and we will report to the authority at the higher level.
It almost suggests, Chief, that you're not entirely confident of the chances of the People's Democratic Party in that election. You sound like you're leaving it to fate.
No. We are confident, because it is the members were handpicked by the state government, confirmed by the... This is why I was saying that what they are doing in Rivers is absolutely illegal. You have suspended the elected governor, suspended members of the state assembly, and then you from Abuja, you ask the unelected acting governor to nominate people. Of course, the chairman he has nominated for the LASEC, not LASEC, the Rivers State Electoral
Commission.
Right, is from Akwa Ibom, where he himself comes from. So how is that the law? Is that the law? Where's justice? Where's fairness? Allow the system to run. Don't manipulate them. The more you manipulate, the more we are going to drown and go down to the bottom of the sea. You mean whichever day he now wants to ask the governor to come back, you will give him all sets of people? Where did they come from? Who approved them? When you get people from the state, you send them to appear before the state assembly. So where is the state assembly? State assembly, not national assembly.
All right, Chief.
If they
in the
do
spirit,
that to Akpabio in the state, would he be happy? If they do that to Bola Tinubu in the state, would he be happy? I mean, come on! This is not on.
In the spirit of reconciliation,
Morally,
Chief George.
it is bankrupt.
In the spirit of reconciliation, Chief George,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question as a leader of the party as we close this program. You've always canvassed peace and reconciliation.
Absolutely.
I need to know, you did say that you had spoken with the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike.
Yeah.
When was the last time you spoke with him? What interventions have you made with regard to reconcile him and the suspended governor, Siminalayi Fubara? Also, when was the last time, if you have, spoken with the suspended governor as well?
I tell you what I did. I came back from abroad. I heard about the fracas between the two of them. I called the chairman of the board of trustees, and I said, look, we must pay a courtesy call to the governor of Rivers, that's Fubara, to listen to his side, because that's the responsibility of the board of trustees. And then you will go and meet Wike to listen to his side. That was done. That was done. But when I asked the chairman and the others, we all went to Port Harcourt. We met Fubara. He told us his own side of the story. And I said, look, this is not too heavy division. We can, close it up. When you guys get to Abuja, we'll have a meeting with Wike, because I had to travel again. So they went and met Wike. And the whole thing just, this lackluster behavior created this. And that is the lack of a leader of the party. Perpetually, they are looking for who is going to control this, who is going to be presidential that, what is it? Self-conceitedness, selfishness, self-centeredness? Is that the way to live? Atiku is my friend. But listen, you cannot.
All right, Chief.
For over 32 years now, you are still doing the same thing. Calm down, cool off. Wait till 2031. I will lead whoever is here from the north, from our party, who want to be president. I will lead the team. I will fight on their behalf. But for now, it must be from the south.
All right.
Whoever is going to contest must come from the south.
Chief Bode, I'd like to thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you very much for coming to speak with us on Political Paradigm.
My pleasure to have a wonderful week ahead.
Wishing you
Thank
same.
you.
Wishing you same. Well, that's all the time we have in Political Paradigm. I've been speaking with a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Bode Judge. If you'd like to catch this all over again or catch previous episodes, please go to YouTube and search Political Paradigm or go to channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.